Guys Talk About podcast live on Facebook and YouTube as the streams slowly load here. We've got a loaded show. We took a week off. A lot has happened since then. There's going to be a couple of surprises here. The meat and potatoes of the show is going to be we're going to pick about 9 to 10 or 5 to 6, depends on whatever we got time for. How many teams we think that can make a run to the Final Four? Selection Sunday is 10 days away right now, I believe, or like 9 or 10, somewhere in there. Sunday, next Sunday.
10.
Friday,
So-
Saturday, Sunday.
Well, yeah, you're right, 10.
So, a lot happening. The Summit League tournament is already underway. NDSU plays tomorrow night. They play the Coyotes of South Dakota. There's been a lot that has happened. I know they were winning here. Let's take a quick peek. As
They might not quite be done yet.
it is done. 70-61 over Kansas City.
Okay.
So I believe I saw that the state hockey tournament is going on in Minnesota right now at the X, correct?
Mm-hmm. Last I
As,
know, there was a pretty big upset brewing in Double-A. Lakeville, I believe, is the last seed, and they were up 3-1 last I saw. And the number 1 seed, the Moorhead Spuds.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And I'm not gonna sit here and say that I am a elite Minnesota high school hockey mind, but I do get some because I'll listen to the only sports talk show in the state of North Dakota, and since it is in Fargo, they do discuss Spuds hockey, and I do know they are the 1 seed, and they also, it sounds like they have some of the worst luck in the history of the state hockey tournament in Minnesota.
Probably.
But
If they're not a city's team, they're not getting any of the city bounces down here.
that's probably also true. Grant's going to give us a full rundown of the Oscars right now. So, Grant, I know you watch the Oscars. You're our pop culture savant. What do you got for us?
Well, Conan made fun of Drake.
Okay.
And called him a pedophile.
Probably
Wah,
true.
wah, wah.
Yeah, yep. A bunch of movies got won and nominated that I've never heard of.
Yeah. It sounds like a borderline porno won like Best Picture.
I heard that,
Well,
yeah.
You know what? It's only a matter of time. Because with OnlyFans taking over the world, that that is going to be the movie that everybody's talking about.
Well, I did get to
Ariana-
see. Speaking of OnlyFans, I did get to watch the OnlyFans dad a couple of weeks ago in Minneapolis.
Mr. Shane?
Oh, Mr. Shane?
Yeah, you guys haven't seen that skit?
No.
No.
Oh, I'll send it to you guys after. It's pretty funny. He was
trust
hilarious. He was as advertised. He told one story that I think I almost had a 6-pack. I was laughing so hard.
Well, that's saying something.
Checks out.
Yeah.
Other
Uh-huh.
Oscars thing, Dylan? Well, Ariana Grande and that Cynthia girl sang their Wicked song.
Oh,
That's all I got.
that's all you got. Wow,
That's all I got.
That's more than I expected from you. But
The powers of Instagram and Facebook. I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, when I say younger, living in Mankato with my parents, and I actually watched movies, and I knew what movies were up. I enjoyed watching the Oscars when I was younger, but as we've gotten older, I don't watch as many movies, and 2, the ones that are nominated, I'm like, I've never heard of this before. Like, what is this?
I suppose whenever they have the AVN Awards, we'll get your full breakdown.
I'll be there with my phone interviewing people.
We got 3 guys talking ball, boots on the ground at the AVN Awards. Oh boy!
First, it'll be Plug Talk, and it'll be 3 guys talking about podcasts. We're taking the world over.
Yep. Well, when when I sometimes like to poke the bear or be a little bit dangerous on social media. We do, some of it does sound like it could be like a porno podcast. Some of the names they call this show, like Three Balls, One Mouth, Three Guys, One Cup. You name it, I've heard it. So.
Oh, I believe it.
But Kirk Cousins, it sounds like, is going to be a $27 million backup quarterback, I believe. Or it might even be more. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's a lot of money to be paying a backup quarterback. That happened while we were away. Matt Stafford is staying with the Rams. I said Aaron Rodgers was going to be going to the Rams. I was wrong. Joey Bosa was cut. Also, one of Grant's favorite things of the NFL offseason, the NFL Combine. Now, Grant, did you get a what was the what can you give us the rundown on what happened in the NFL Combine?
Well, some people didn't watch a whole lot this year.
A couple jumped,
but wait for it. Defensive backs are fast. Running backs are super fast.
DBs still can't catch.
DBs still can't catch, and also quarterbacks should not throw to receivers they're not comfortable with.
Yeah.
That is a good rundown. Joey Bosa is cut by the Chargers. The last San Diego Charger of the holdovers from that went from San Diego to LA.
Oh yeah.
So, quick prediction here, guys. Where does Joey Bosa end up?
I kind of like Grant's prediction of the Packers. I think they need a second guy, and you don't get injured as much on grass as you do turf.
Yeah. I think he can be a rotational guy in Green Bay when they need him second and long, third down. He's playing on grass. Green Bay's a team ready to compete now. I like the Packers.
Okay, I'm gonna go with another NFC North team. I'm gonna go with the Detroit Lions. Need a pass rusher. They've been rumored to be in the Myles Garrett sweepstakes. He's going to be cheaper. You won't have to give up draft picks for him. And somebody that you can pair with Aiden Hutchinson once he comes back from his leg injury. But back to the NFL Combine. I think this would be fun is next time we're all in the cities together as we go to a local high school and we do a mini combine of all the drills, see where we stack up.
I'm not doing it, Dylan, because I'm not pulling a hamstring.
Oh, you're not fast enough.
I don't care. Why not?
I don't care if you're fast or not. You try to go off and get that good get off, that first 10 yards, that explosiveness. One bad step and, there goes the hamstring.
That's why you stretch. That's why you stretch.
That's why you be an athlete.
Yeah, Grant. I play basketball every Wednesday for the last 10 weeks. I haven't pulled a single muscle. And there's nobody who would look at me and say that I am in shape, okay? You can run 40 yards. If I can run up and down the court for 40 minutes, you can run a 40-yard dash.
All right, fine. You bullied me into it.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm here for.
You bullied me into it.
And some sad news. A little bit of our part of our childhood is going to be dead soon. I don't know if you guys saw, but ESPN is canceling the show Around the Horn.
I saw that.
A little bit sad. That was an after school staple. Is you get home from school at 3:30, you turn on ESPN, you watch Around the Horn, and then you go into PTI.
Yeah, I don't know why they just do SportsCenter. It's stupid. If that's your idea, why the hell take it off?
Yeah, it just shows that over these last 5 years, ESPN has really just taken a dive, and their company as a whole is just absolute shit. Because they don't even want to talk sports now. It's just literally just embracing debate and then stroking LeBron's cock on the Lakers highlights. That's all it is.
You know what, Grant? I am glad because this is a good transition here. I am glad that you brought up LeBron James because I'm about to do something that I have not done in quite some time, and frankly, I didn't think I would ever be doing again. But I'm going to defend LeBron James. Yes.
I'm all ears.
Dwayne Wade on a podcast, I don't know which one it was, but he kind of talked about the final year or so of the Heat dynasty, or when he felt that he knew LeBron was leaving. And it was when they were on a plane back to Miami from wherever they were playing. They were playing cards, and LeBron raised his hand, got one of the flight attendants to come over to him and was like, "Hey, can you get me my cookies?" And Pat Riley, and she said, "Sorry, we don't have your cookies anymore." Mr. Riley said that we aren't allowing sweets on the plane anymore. And now we've taken our fair share amount of jabs, and deservedly so, takes at LeBron for a lot of things. But I gotta be on LeBron's side here, because you take a look at LeBron, and the guy does. He's rumored to spend over $1 million on his body every year. Let the man have his cookies. That is his one cheat meal, the one thing he gets. And you guys have known me for a while. You know my love for chocolate chip cookies. You don't take a man's chocolate chip cookies away from him. So I'm starting to think Heat culture is overrated.
Well, it's funny you mention that, because they want to keep talking about Heat culture, and what's the culture?
Taking away LeBron's cookies. That's not a good culture.
Taking away LeBron's cookies, having Jimmy Butler carry you to 2 finals appearances in 4 years, while the rest of your team is filled with a bunch of scrubs and second-round picks and undrafted players who come up big in one playoff series but can't do anything in the regular season. And then letting Jimmy Butler go and rejuvenating his career in Golden State. I'm starting to think the Heat don't have a culture. And it truly was, as we all knew, the LeBron James show and then the Jimmy Butler show, who just went scorched earth in those 2 runs to the finals.
And you know what? You know what's a good culture, you guys, is the culture of, if you're not committing borderline HR violations, joking around with your coworkers, it's not a good culture. I don't want to work at a place where I can't commit borderline HR violations.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I work in HR, but I totally get it.
Well, you work in HR, but you are the least HR well buttoned up person that I know.
Those are the best HR.
I was just going to say, that's what people in HR do.
When you take a look at Ethan, you do not think, "Oh yeah, that guy's an HR asshole." You look at him as anything but HR.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, he's
How
not
creepy
an
does this
HR
cat
employee.
look behind us, just watching us though?
Yeah, dude, I've been looking at Hank the whole time, and I'm like,
creepy.
Looks
Yeah,
like
he's just hanging out. Yeah.
He's ready to pounce on someone or something.
Well, there was a plate with a little piece of sausage on it from some pizza. Oh, now we made him mad. That's what he was chewing on when I ran back there quick. I just realized, and I was looking at the screen when I saw he was eating something.
Nice.
He's gonna go torment Boone now.
Nice.
Okay. No, we got to give it up to Ethan for his HR department. I might be dying. It's fine.
Sounds like it.
For being up to code 100%. So good job, Ethan.
That was our whole, not just me. That was the whole facility.
Oh,
0
look at that.
deficiencies. Yep.
Look at that.
You guys are ready to take on the day.
It was a good day.
And look at Ethan being a selfless man, not even taking all the credit, giving everybody their flowers like a true team player does.
That's how HR and the company builds a good culture.
That's where we're.
Well, it's not Heat culture. It's a line of health culture.
It's a line of health restorative suites culture. AHRS, baby.
Eric Spoelstra can shove those 2 championship rings up his ass that he didn't deserve.
Wow.
Jeez.
That's right. If the Heat had a good culture, the head coach wouldn't be wearing a backwards hat after winning an NBA championship.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Let's call a spade a spade. There's no culture. That's Ray Allen hitting a shot against the Spurs.
Now you're just sounding like Skip Bayless here.
It's kind of fun. I'm not going to lie.
It is kind of fun being the heel, isn't it?
It is. And you know what? Kendrick made hating cool, so I'm going to hate.
You know what I also learned or forgot about? That back when it was back in it was the game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals when LeBron was playing for the Cavs back in whatever he made the finals the first time. Skip Bayless apparently wrote in a column questioning because at the time LeBron was 21, questioning if LeBron James was actually 21 because he looked way more mature than what he was.
What?
Yes.
Maybe he's actually 50.
So you're saying LeBron's been 50 this whole time?
Not the whole time, but just now. Maybe he's 50, not 40.
So he's actually 31 at that time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
I mean, you could probably do that when you use the amount of HGH he uses.
Barry Bonds of basketball.
Speaking of Barry Bonds, he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
He does. Same with Pete Rose. Also came up when we were in our time away about they are now considering him for the Hall of Fame after he passed away.
Tom Izzo's about ready to get ejected. Holy smokes. He might.
I love a good Izzo blow up.
Oh my God. So
it's brewing.
They were going for a big. Brewing. Did you see it, Grant?
Yeah, I just saw it.
Dylan, Michigan State was going for a big dunk on their side, and there was a shit ton of contact. Iowa gets it going the other way. Peyton Sandford tries to dunk, and I mean Trey Hallman. It's complete ball, like stuff the living shit out of Peyton Sandford. Call the foul on that end, like oh my, Izzo's about ready to lose his mind. That's just
Dylan,
terrible.
Carver's going right now like it's a big wrestling match.
Yeah, that was awful.
Ooh. Is Connor there showing his Hawkeye sign? His tab?
Probably. That's like some of the worst officiating I've seen in a long time. That's pathetic.
Wow,
It's the Big Ten.
It's the Big Ten, yeah. I mean, why would you expect anything
smacks
differently?
His arm. Grant, did you see that? The replay for the Michigan State guy's dunk?
Oh yeah, he got his elbow. Oh, he assaulted him.
What are we looking at here?
Speaking of Kendrick,
out there?
Holy cow!
Kendrick is playing defense for the Hawkeyes right now.
Jesus. Yeah, now they called an N1 going the other way. But jeez,
Ethan, you're faster than me.
Ethan has been active out in the Twitter streets. He's been arguing with Matt Miller. I saw.
Oh yeah, I want that guy. I hate that guy. That was for us. That was us three guys talking about podcasts. I hate that guy.
Is that the same guy that I hate?
Yes, I went at him on Twitter and he responded twice.
He did actually.
Nice.
Twice.
And you also were having quite the conversation about Gopher head coach Ben Johnson. And I can't remember what the guy said the excuse was about. Oh, it was something about
the weather.
Yeah.
The weather.
Whether they play basketball inside.
He said it's cold. So it was what was it? So Seth Davis was tweeting and like he had a lot of like true things in his tweet, but then he also said like something about the weather is an issue why Minnesota's such a tough job. And then Tony Liebert, he's just the tool that does Gopher Report, not even a reporter. He literally just quotes tweets. That's his job. Like I could do his job. No sources, nothing. Like just literally reads Twitter throughout the day. And he was like, "Oh well," and I called him out for saying, "Oh, that's the reason this is a tough job and everything." And I was like, "No, like it is a hard job. Like it's cold. One, it is cold as shit. Two, we're not getting the support we needed from the administration in terms of financials.
Also, it's a pro sports city.
Yeah,
there's just no There's no backing for the Gophers compared.
I've been pretty hot on Twitter lately.
Yeah. So Grant, here's some context since your Twitter list, which probably smarter and better for everybody's sanity on your part. So this is Tony Liebert. Wow. This is capitalized in bold. National college basketball analyst Seth Davis Hoops calls Ben Johnson one of the elite coaches in one of the toughest jobs in America after today's win over Nebraska. pretty significant statement from one of the biggest voices in college basketball media. He doubles down and on his claim. So Seth responds, fans of Gophers men's basketball confused as to why I call this one of the toughest jobs in America. Minnesota has been to one Final Four in its history. Technically not true, but we're not assholes, so we're not going to be those guys.
And then he said like major academic scandal. Oh, for fuck's sake. No. They did the same damn thing North Carolina did, but not even close to that extent.
North Carolina made up fake classes for the university.
Minnesota had some players get some papers written for them.
They had to type papers where it was literally like we saw the Carolina papers. It was a sentence. It was a single sentence. And
Carolina made classes that were for underwater African American basket weaving.
Hey, don't you disrespect that community. That is an elite community and part of the diversity of this country, Grant.
When did you become a Democrat?
I don't know. I was in the cities a couple of weeks ago.
Who is the Dylan I
know? But Ethan responds, a lot of what he's saying is true. They are not being given the financial backing they need. Honestly, not even close. Comparing them to Marquette, they don't even have football. They get a majority of all NIL. Marquette, also a private school.
Mm-hmm.
And the other part of it is Ben Johnson probably should be considered a candidate. He won't win it for Big Ten Coach of the Year because the fact that they're even on the discussion of a borderline bubble team after he lost his top 3 scorers from last year.
I thought it was
I've also seen that there's been a lot of weird things about Gopher basketball on Twitter saying that they had a tough non-conference and
they had a terrible
we're just playing an easy part of their schedule in the Big Ten. It was like and after that I went and I looked. I was like, man, they were playing, as Colin Cowherd would like to say, roast beef Tex.
Grant, here's a stat
Panera
for
Bread
you.
University.
Here's a stat for you, Grant. The Gophers have more Quad 1 wins than Duke.
What?
Yeah. What? Gophers are top 15 in the country. They have 7 Quad 1 wins. Duke has 6.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, but then we lose.
Minnesota plays in the Big Ten. Duke plays in the ACC.
That is true. The ACC is.
But yeah, then we lose. We literally lose to the worst 3 teams in the Big Ten on our home court. So I mean, that's the reason why you're not in the tournament. Like, simple as that.
But then beat Michigan when we're there on a buzzer beater.
Michigan, Oregon, USC, UCLA. Yeah, they beat a lot of good teams, and then they just can't.
Yeah.
Can't do anything about it.
But I think he's earned the right for another year. I'd be curious to see who they go after because, like you said, it is a very tough job. And if there is a coach to maybe consider, is maybe like a guy like a Tim Miles would do great work there. He's from the area. He was former NDSU head coach. He's at San Jose State right now, which is not a basketball school, but the guy has won 20 games there. He was the head coach at Nebraska, and I think there's a good argument to be made that he's had more success than been better than what Hoiberg has been there.
I'd be fine either way. I understand if he stays. I understand if he goes. He's had 4 years. He hasn't made the tournament. Makes total sense. Granted, they are running on $1 million max NIL. There's teams upwards of $7 million. So like at the same time,
making like $2.5 million.
Yeah, it's like at the same time, like how can you? It's not a level playing field. So a report came out today in the Star Tribune from Chip Scoggins, who actually sounds like he had to talk to either Mark Coyle, the AD, or someone very, very tight with him. Sounds like they're going to be putting at least between NIL and the revenue sharing that starts this summer, $5 to $6 million for Gopher basketball, which would put them in the top third in the Big Ten. And Coyle made it pretty adamant that this is what I want. I want a good basketball program, and I'll do it is going to take to do it. Whether that's Ben Johnson or not, didn't really hint at it either. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, depending on what goes on the Big Ten tournament, if he wins a couple of games, I think it's a no-brainer. If he goes one and done, it's 50-50, I'd say.
Yeah. But since we are on the topic of tournament teams, we're gonna, like we said, we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of the show here. We're gonna list off some of our teams that we think can make the Final Four here. So, guys, I'll just pick here. Grant, Ethan, who can you name your? I don't know how we want to do this.
I'd say we just go one at a time.
Actually, I got an idea here. So I think we list 10 as a group. So we cannot take what another person says. Okay,
Can't repeat. That's fair.
Yes. So we got 10 teams.
I did some stats on this, Dylan. I did some serious research at work because I was so busy this week. But
HR guy's not doing his job.
Four of the last 5 national champions have had a top 10 defensive efficiency and a top 25 offensive efficiency. The only team to not meet that criteria was, I believe, 2022 was Kansas when they were the number 18 offense and the number 47 defense. Last year, UConn, number 1 offense, number 7 defense. 2023 UConn, number 8 offense, number 10 defense. 2021 Baylor, number 2 offense, number 25 defense. Virginia, number 5 offense, number 6 defense. So it kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of like the team you need. Last year, 5 of the Elite 8 teams were top 25 offensively. Only 1 team was top 10 defensively. That was UConn. So offense can get you a long ways, but it's not going to get you the title more often than not. So use that for your picks. Use that for your picks.
That is good to know here. So who do you have? Ethan, the first pick in the 2025 Final Four draft. Is that what we want to call it? Is that
sure? Why not?
That's the way we want to go about it.
All right. So do you want to do 10 teams or 9 teams? We can each pick 3.
Well, let's do 9. Let's do 9. Yeah, that makes sense. We each pick 3. So
my first team that meet the qualifications. Grant, I talked to you about this on Tuesday night. Dylan, this is going to be a very big surprise to you. Maryland Terrapins, number 8 defensive efficiency, number 25 offensive efficiency. They are a hell of a lot better than their 6th seed that they're projected right now.
Yeah. Who's their coach now? It's not Turgeon anymore.
Wilt, former Seton Hall guy. Wilt.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yep.
You remember his name.
And also, their starting 5 has an all-time nickname, the Crab 5. You can't go against that.
Derek Queen, fantastic. Like, he's coming out right at the right time, but he's like a freaking joker out there. Like, he has incredible ball skills.
So, Grant?
So my first team I'm going to go with here, boys. They got a big win last night on the road. I believe it was their second top 10 road win this season, the Florida Gators.
Ooh.
That
was one of my top contenders.
I look at that team play, and you know what? They have that intensity that you need in March. They get after it on the offensive and defensive glass. They can score with anybody. And
we saw that last night, literally.
Score with anybody. I mean, they went into Alabama, and they did not back down.
They almost put up triple digits.
Yeah, I think they ended up 96?
99.
99, that's right. It was 99-96.
Yep.
And 40 at halftime. So they put up 56 points in the second half. And playing in this tough SEC, it's going to build them for March. And you know what? Unlike some of these teams in the SEC that I don't think you can trust, I think you can trust this Florida team. And they're the one basketball team in the state of Florida who does have a culture. They get after it on the defensive end from a couple of games that I've watched this year. I like the Gators.
And their coach does not message minors.
He does not. It
nope.
was proven.
He was clear
he does not
wrong
message minors.
Kind of forgot about that. But for me, I'm gonna go with Texas A&M. They just had a big win over Auburn last night. Buzz Williams, he's been knocking on the door for it feels like the last 15 years. Just hasn't quite been able to get over the hump. I think last night's win gives them the confidence that might be what they need to get over the hump. And depending on where the bracket falls, because so much of this tournament is going to be based off of matchups, I think this is a team that they're going to defend. And if they can get out and go, they're going to be able to enforce turnovers like they did last night. There's no reason they can't be playing in San Antonio, where the women are not skinny.
No, because they've eaten them churros all day.
Hey, you look like you've done that before.
Oh man, I'm staying in Texas. I'm going to the Big 12. You probably think I'm taking Houston. I'm not. I'm going Texas Tech. Honestly, probably one of the deepest teams in the country. And unfortunately, it's our former point guard is leading the charge for them, Elijah Hawkins. So they are 34th in defensive efficiency and number 7 offensive efficiency. So not quite that meet the metrics of a national champion, but only takes a couple games to get hot, and they can score.
Yeah, my second team here. I'm taking the Duke Blue Devils. I think it was Tuesday night this week. Got to 100 points again this year. That's the 4th time they've scored 100 points this season. The last time they did that, 2010, they won the national championship.
Number 1 offensive efficiency team in the country. Mm-hmm. Like 1.4 points per possession. Insane.
Shire was a player on that 2010 team. And so this offense, they are just rolling right now. This team, they look like they have no weakness.
They don't. Their defense is fantastic too.
Their defense is fantastic. They're buying into him, and I think it's taken Shire, a couple of years to get his own voice and to build his own culture. Where you're like at Duke, hey, you know what? Coach K's not here anymore. We're going to do it this way. And I tell you what, this train at Duke is going to keep rolling. With they're going to continue to have a top 2, and it won't be the 2 recruiting class in the country every single year. They get after it on defense. They can score with anybody on offense, and unless there's the only thing that really, if you ask me, that's stopping them is going to be a crazy injury. Who knows? You hate to see it happen, but yeah, Duke is a Final Four team.
Yeah, but I think there's reason to worry because their margin of victory in their last 5 games has kind of diminished a little bit. So, they beat Illinois by 43. They beat Miami by 37. They beat Florida State by 35, and now they've only beaten Wake Forest by 33. And it's just gone down each time. Is that something, a red flag for you, Grant?
Well, you know what I always say, if you're not beating teams by 40 going into March, I have concerns for you.
Yeah.
AK, if you're not UConn last year.
Yeah, which is why I can never trust Tennessee, because Tennessee is not beating teams by 40 in March.
You know what the thing about that is,
they don't score very well.
Last year is Tennessee, if they didn't have to play Purdue, they probably would have made it to the Final Four. That was a legitimate Final Four team because they had an NBA player on that roster. But
that was a Final Four game.
That was. And it's the same thing with I'm trying to think, who was the other team? It wasn't Creighton, or was it Creighton?
Creighton played Tennessee in the Sweet 16, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Last year there were a lot of teams that definitely had the talent to be
Alabama played North Carolina in the Sweet 16.
No, I wasn't thinking of them. I'm just drawing a blank and it's kind of ticking me off.
Who did Clemson play? Arizona. Clemson played Arizona. No, that's not it.
No, it wouldn't have been Arizona.
Yeah,
Who did Purdue beat? No, they beat Tennessee. That's right.
Tennessee.
Yeah, I picked it.
Who did UConn play?
They played Illinois in the Elite 8.
Okay, no, it wouldn't have.
I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm pretty sure
it wouldn't have been
Tennessee.
Illinois. I'm trying to.
Illinois played Iowa State in the Sweet 16.
I don't know. Don't matter. We'll figure it out later. But mine is going to be my team. It's going to be the Auburn Tigers. They've been the number
Easy
1 ranked
choice.
team all year. Easy choice.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of these last two picks between Auburn and Duke have been the low-hanging fruit, and both of these teams are as close to a Sharpie to the Final Four as you're going to get, barring any crazy injury or anything. But they, watching them on the defensive end, it's a staple of a Bruce Pearl team. They had a little bit of a down game last game against the Aggies on the road, but that feels like it could be just a get right game, a kind of get them back on the right track type of game. But when you watch them, they've gone into these tough environments and they've won pretty much everywhere. I look at that Alabama Auburn game from about a month ago now, where it felt like anytime Alabama was going to get close, Auburn just landed a haymaker back and put them away. Got a Player of the Year candidate. So I think Auburn is a almost Sharpie for the Final Four.
Yeah, my last one I have them labeled as my dark horse, but they don't even come close to fitting the metrics that I've been picked everyone else. But they have as talented as roster as anyone, but they also could probably lose first game of the Big 12 tournament in the NCAA tournament. That's Kansas. Surprisingly, they are number 136 offensive efficiency, but yet their defense is solid at 19. If they just get hot for 5 games, like they are absolutely capable of that. Dickinson, Mayo, I can't remember their point guard's name. Harris, I think maybe, but like they absolutely are as talented as anyone. Storr is another one. He single-handedly put Wisconsin on his back last year. Who says he can't do it again? So they're my dark horse. I really actually think they could do something pretty loud in the tournament.
They could be like that.
That is
Carolina.
one that I did not expect that.
They could be like
that. Kansas.
That Carolina team will be becoming 3 years ago already. As an 8 seed, as a 9 seed.
You can't deny the talent.
And if they get the right matchup and they can just come together as a team, watch out.
Bill Self is going to get these guys right at some point. He is.
Well, they looked pretty good against Houston on Monday night.
Yes,
I watched the end of that game.
Did.
They had chances. It's just they just couldn't quite get over that hump. But
I want to say they played Texas Tech or something prior to that too, and they looked solid. Yeah.
Yeah. Feels like they might be turning a corner.
Yeah, I think so.
If they get to a Big 12 semifinal or even the Big 12 title game, watch out.
It's gonna get scary.
Yeah, because they'll look like the number 1 team in the country to start the year.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're getting hot, you're going to be a team who we don't want to play those cats.
No.
Grant, you're up.
My last team here, I kind of talked about them earlier, but you know what? It's one of those things where they're underrated, and it's been 5 years since they've been in the Final Four. I think you have to go Michigan State.
He's going to Michigan State.
And
six now, actually.
6, yeah, 6. It just, and guys, this literally just all comes down to it feels like they're due. They're due to go on that run. They're going to get hot. They at least clinched a share of the Big Ten regular season championship. We'll see what happens this weekend if they can win the whole thing outright.
They will. They will.
I joked when we started that I was going to blow the 7-point lead at halftime. Well, right now Michigan State's up by 5. We lost Ethan.
We did.
But that's okay. This Michigan State team, it just feels there's really no superstar, if you ask me, on this team. They're just really coached well, and they play together well, very cohesively. And in the tournament, when you have good coaching and you can have good experience play across your team, and they really truly work together as one, I think they can get hot. And Michigan State is that team that can get hot.
They got 2 studs that can score however they want. In Richardson, and then is it Akins? Ethan's back. But yeah, they're a tremendous team. They're going to win the Big Ten on Sunday outright because Michigan has completely fallen off. The turnovers, the inability to grab a defensive rebound has completely caught up to them.
You see, and right now, Michigan State, 15 points win. They're up 8. this thing's over. I'm here, I think.
Grant's right here. Yeah.
I only see me and you.
And I only see Dylan.
Huh. How about that? Well, we're all here.
Ethan, can you hear me?
But yeah,
Ethan,
Iowa did in fact go full Fran. They are now down 8.
Yep. Well, I don't know what's going on here, but I think I have my last team is up here, and I have there of all on my list. I have plenty of teams. From when I made this originally, I have BYU because they just beat Kansas by 30. I also have Michigan. I'm gonna cross them off. Wisconsin, they feel like maybe they might have some offense finally to go with their good defense, but it's still Wisconsin, so I don't fully want to trust them. And right now it's down. Houston has not been said, but they're also
kind of a gimme.
I don't know. Can I be honest, guys? Their lack of offense.
Well, I mean, if you want like a sleeper, I mean, St. John's. They don't score it the best. They're the number 2 defensive team in the country. Like that's a good sleeper.
Yes. So I have a stat for you, Ethan.
Let's hear it.
With St. John's, because they were on this list of mine. Is there have only been 2 teams that have shot under 32% from 3. They are both coached by Rick Pitino.
And they both won a national title.
No.
One did for sure.
The 13 team did. Yeah, the 13 team did. It was back-to-back years. It was 12 and 13.
Okay.
Well, technically 13. They didn't
I think
win
I actually saw that because Peyton Silva tweeted, out, "Man, we were ass" or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but no, they're actually really good.
It's crazy to think that
if
Trey
they
Burke
can get the 2 seed in the East
that day.
Their Elite 8 matchup.
Hang on.
Oh.
Well, no. So Ethan, Grant's talking. Ethan, you're talking. So like I can hear both of you, but neither of you guys can hear each other.
No, we can't.
So Grant is talking about how. So maybe Grant, what you might want to do it while I
fill leave and come back in. I'll leave and come back in.
Yeah, leave. No. Oh, well, I was gonna say, Grant, you could have left and then come back in, but while I filled Ethan in on what was gonna happen. But you know what? It's the 3 guys talking about podcast. This is why we shouldn't take weeks off, is because we have all these types of technical difficulties. But
I just felt like taking a shot at Peyton Silva in the vacated national championship from Louisville.
You know what? Count. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. Can you hear Grant now, Ethan?
No, I cannot. I can't see him either still.
Oh, well,
that's
Grant,
awesome.
do you want to exit out quick and then come back in? Okay, Grant's going to leave, come back in here. We're going to get this thing figured out. Here.
Technical
but anyways, while we were talking about St. John's and Louisville being shooting under 32%. Grant was about to go on a tangent about the technically 13 Louisville didn't win it, and I haven't fully gotten to tell him yet, but I'm not going to go into the loser mode of saying that, no, Louisville won that game fair and square. Michigan was up 14. They pissed it away at halftime. John Beilein, in not many flaws that he has, probably should have subbed Trey Burke in before the first half was over to give them a spark. He went out, didn't play because he had 2 fouls. Was it a clean block by him on Peyton Silva? Probably, but the ref did not call it that way. As Grant is back, can we hear him?
Can we hear him?
Ethan see him?
I
can hear you. Whoa, we're back. Let's go.
It was Grant's fault, not mine. Who would have thought?
So,
not me.
But anyways, so I had St. John's on my list, but I'm going to go with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, they've struggled a little bit. They've kind of limped into the last part of this regular season. But if they can play, and this is what worries me, is because the NCAA tournament is about putting your best 6 games together. Can you do that? Can you play that style, especially where they are not very good defensively? This reminds me more of a Nate Oates team from 2 years ago, back when they just had some killers on the court offensively.
They're actually drastically better on defense this year than last year. Last year they were 236. They are up to 199 this year.
Interesting.
200. Let's go.
Yes, I mean, they made it last year at 236, so it's a very real possibility they can get back.
You know who they
100%.
remind you of, guys? They remind you of the James Harden Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna take 43s a game. They're not interested in stopping anybody. They're just gonna outscore you because they think their metrics. They're gonna shoot a high volume of 3. They're gonna make 33% of them, but they think of that 33%, that's going to be anywhere between 15 and 18 threes. And then with all the layups they can get, they're going to get to 90 points, and you're only going to get to 84.
And
yeah,
is this where and if it doesn't
team in college?
Yes.
And if it doesn't work out, you can call it analytics instead of analytics.
Analytics.
Uh-huh.
Which is what they're a fan of in Alabama.
Yeah,
with their cousins.
With their cousins.
This run by Michigan State, holy smokes, has it been impressive?
Oh, sorry, I went to the other game and it's at halftime. Update: Iowa is also up 7 in the other game at halftime, so the women are going to blow that lead.
Yep.
Okay.
I want to see this quick.
The it truly is like one of the best times of the year because there's so much going on. The high school tournaments are going on. When does Minnesota have their state basketball tournaments?
They just started sections this week, so not for a little bit.
Okay.
I think I thought the women's was next weekend and the men's is the week after.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Dylan, I think it's 4 straight weeks of state tournament when you throw in women's hockey, women's basketball, men's basketball.
Yeah, that's where North Dakota is right now. They're in their technically third because it was wrestling, hockey. Now it's girls basketball right now. So next week I'm gonna have the Class A boys. You guys are gonna pick the Class A boys or actually 2A boys state tournament. Once the brackets for that's gonna be finalized on Saturday night, and then regionals for Class A and B start on Monday. So the girls is underway right now for A and B. The Trinity girls made it. They got a tough draw. Gave the number 1 team in A all they could handle, but ended up falling a little bit short. But the DSU Bluehawks are North Star Athletic Association champions. Had a big win over Jamestown, which was a very exciting game that I was at. Kind of seeing the student section where they took up two rows of the stands or 2 sections of the stands was really cool to see. It kind of made me wish that I was back in college, just being absolutely obnoxious. But yeah, so it's gonna be exciting couple of weeks here. And before we wrap up,
so Dylan, 1 second. Iowa was up 58-48 at one point. They are now down 81-66.
Oh,
woof!
That is a 26-point swing right there. If my math is correct,
it's a lot. They're on what would that be, a 33-8 run?
And actually, guys, if you go to Zillow right now, Fran McCaffrey's house is for sale.
Oh my God! So Michigan State's last 4 games, they didn't allow a field goal versus Wisconsin in the final 407, versus Maryland the final 507, versus Michigan the final 412, and versus Illinois the final 8-12. They didn't allow a field goal
in the last 8 minutes and 29 seconds. No points, Ethan, against Illinois. Points.
They could probably get some free throws, but not a field goal.
It said points.
Did it really say points?
It said points.
Holy smokes!
8:29 against Illinois. I will go back.
Holy smokes!
It said no points.
That is elite.
Yeah, the Wisconsin, Maryland, Michigan, no field goals.
Jesus.
Illinois Fighting Illini, no points allowed in the final 8 minutes and 29 seconds.
That is insane.
That is not normal. That's taking it up like 12 notches.
That is very impressive.
They're on a 14-2 run, and they've outscored Iowa 51-29 in the second half. 51-30 now.
Oh boy! But Before we wrap up the show, we got curveball of the week. I got it this week, which I'm guessing you guys were nervous or you just knew that I had it.
I knew you had it because you didn't say anything to me, but if you just said, "Hey, Grant, what do we got?" I would have been like, "And we'll see you next week, folks."
Yep, that's what I got.
But anyways, here, so the McDonald's has released the Angel Reese meal, which is like a quarter pounder with barbecue sauce, fries, and an orange drink. So,
Sounds
fellas,
terrible.
If McDonald's were to come out with a Grant Caster, Ethan Price, or Dylan Gress meal, what would your meals be?
Oh, that's simple.
From McDonald's.
A number 7 with a Dr. Pepper. Simple as that. 2 cheeseburger meal. We're done. It's done. We're canceling it. It's over.
You just renamed the meal that's already there. Jesus.
Technically, I added a Dr. Pepper, so it could be a different meal.
It could be a different meal. Can I go back in time, Dylan, when the dollar menu was the actual dollar menu for my meal at McDonald's?
Yep. We don't even have a dollar menu anymore. Or like a $2.
No.
Ethan, listen, that's why I said go back in time.
Ooh.
So if McDonald's could make a meal, Grant's would be probably 2 McDoubles, 2 McChickens, and if you want to, you can make 1 McGangbang.
Oh, yep. I remember the McGangbangs, yeah.
The McGangbang. We're going to probably throw in some sort of fry, and then a McFlurry on the side.
Oh, okay. The Dylan Gress meal would be the 2 cheeseburger meal with fries, 10-piece McNuggets with sweet and sour sauce, and then to drink is a chocolate shake, no whipped cream.
Yeah, I agree with the no whipped cream.
Yeah, whipped cream overrated on a shake. I can do without it. I don't need it.
Nah, I'm with you.
It just takes up space. Give me the ice cream, baby. But all right, well, I think that wraps up the show here. I think I don't know what we'll talk about next week. Maybe we pick our bubble teams. Who knows? Well, we also know that we're going to be picking the state 2A championships in North Dakota here. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you check us out on all of our social medias. But until next time, we'll talk to you next week.